starting lineup. Starting at one guard for the Vikings, 6'1" junior from New York City, New York, number 10, Ken McFadden. At a guard spot for the Phoenix, 6'2" senior from South Holland, Illinois, number 12, Frank Nardi. At a second guard for the Vikings, 6-foot sophomore from Barberton, Ohio, number 21, Kenny Robertson. At a second guard for the Phoenix, 6'3" senior from Barberton, Ohio, number 24, Richard Sims. At a forward for Cleveland State, 6'8" junior from Bridgeport, Connecticut, 00, Warren Bradley. At a third guard spot for the Phoenix, 6'2" senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 30, Michael Connor. At the other forward for the Vikings, 6'5" sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio, number 24, William Stanley. At forward for the Phoenix, 6'5" junior from Franklin Park, Illinois, number 22, Bernie Tampa. At center for the Vikings, 6'8" senior from Cleveland, Ohio, number 33, Eric Mudd. At center for the Phoenix, 6'3" junior from Chicago, Illinois, number 44, Adrian Boulding. Remainder of the respective squads. The head coach for the Cleveland State University Vikings, Kevin Mackey. Head coach for the University of Wisconsin Green Bay Fighting Phoenix, Dick Bennett. The officials for tonight's game, Nate Humphrey, Rich Bertoni, and Ed Marisich.
And there you have it, Vikings and the Phoenix here, Mr. Kellogg, and this one has that tournament playoff atmosphere.
Certainly does. This is a very important game for both teams. Certainly the Vikings with an NCAA bid at stake. The Phoenix think they've got a chance to get to the NIT if they can win today and then possibly upset Southwest Missouri.
Well, they're 17-8 coming in. It's the best ever Division I record that Phoenix has posted. And when you consider the fact that they played Loyola Marymount very, very close here. They beat Wisconsin. They played a tough schedule. 17-8 is not too bad.
Very respectable. Very, very respectable. This team, though small in stature, certainly playing the role of possible giant killers here today.
There you had a glimpse of Kevin Mackey. There's on the other side of the coin, Dick Stevens, or make that Dick Bennett, rather. Excuse me. And two of the finest coaches, without a doubt, in the AMQ8. Kevin Mackey in his 5th year with a record of 109 and 42. And I think Kevin would trade all 109 of those for a win today.
I agree with you, Denny.
Well, without a doubt, the Vikings will have a tremendous edge inside with Mudd and also Bradley. But the opening tap is controlled by the Phoenix. Vikes come out and start in a man-to-man, and that's pretty much what Wisconsin Green Bay will play most of the game unless they get into some kind of a problem. Vikes lead the overall series between the two clubs at 10-2. Nardi all alone gets the free jumper. High on the backboards it goes, and Connor comes off with it. Well, this time Nardi thinks the better of it. Nobody picks him up. He'll shoot, and he scores the first bucket of the game.
Well, he's not the kind of guy you can leave open, Denny. He's shooting 53% from the floor in AMQ8 play.
Back down the other way, but before he got to the basket, the toilet paper strewn all over the floor, and once again, this continues to stop play, and I don't know. It's getting old, don't you think?
Is that an AMQ8 tradition around this conference? I don't see that happen anywhere else other than when I'm doing Cleveland State games.
It happens in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Oh, okay.
A few other ones. Central Michigan, they like to throw some paper on the floor. Well, we've had enough of that. Lots of man-to-man D. Bradley trapped inside, back to the mouse. Connor draws the mouse. And Connor will be all over number 10 here this afternoon. Mike's trying to be patient on offense. Swinging the ball. Bradley will take it inside, pump it down low, and that one's just a little too hot to handle.
Well, it certainly looked like a good idea that time by Bradley. Mudd not ready to receive the pass. It did have a little extra on it, considering the distance between the players. Turnover to the Vikings.
Players are a little juiced up at this stage. Vikes come out with a full court pressure. Just underway, 2-0. Frank Nardi with the first basket. Nardi again on the wing, this time for 3, and it won't go, and Stanley comes off with a carry. Vikes pressed into service once again on Monday evening against Northern Iowa. Mouse trapped, and he turns it over. It's a foot race. Nardi will take him to the basket. Nardi has all 4.
Well, that time the pressure of the Phoenix forced a turnover as Nardi overplayed Kenny Robertson. The Mouse made an errant pass.
And now the officials calling time here for just a moment, asking the cheering section, the cheerleaders as well, to move back a little bit, give some players a little room on the floor. If you come in for a layup and you aren't looking, you can run into one of those horns in a hurry.
Got to back them up a little bit.
Sellout crowd. Better than 5,000 expected here this afternoon.
Every nook and cranny filled.
Bradley posting up down low, gets hammered, gets the shot off, missed it the first time, and he'll head right back to the free throw line, though Connor gets whistled. That time it was Warren Bradley, 1-on-4.
Excellent job that time by Mr. Mean on the offensive glass. Got a tough shot up the first time. Bradley along the baseline here, little double, triple pump. Got it up on the rack, didn't get it to go, and then went back strong for the second shot. And that's where the Vikings are going to have to take advantage of the size. See, mismatches and size advantages are only good when you take advantage of them, Denny. You can't, I mean, you can have all the mismatches in the world. If you're not taking, it's what you do with them that makes the difference. That time, Bradley using his size and jumping ability inside to get an offensive rebound.
Well, Warren hits a pair from the free throw line. And it's a 4-2 contest just underway. Tampa comes down. Phoenix break the pressure. This is not a team that will attack the press either, is it, Clark?
No, they won't attack the press. They're very patient. They turn the ball over the least amount of times per game in the AMQ8. They don't turn it over only 10 times a game, Denny.
Connor on the wing to Sims, who is yet to shoot. Popping out front now is Connor. Lots of screens at the elbow. They'll move it around. They do pass and catch it pretty well. 6 seconds left, and the offensive foul called on Richard Sims, and the Mouse McFadden providing the stellar D.
The theatrics of Mouse McFadden, that time good defensive position. Add a little acting job to it to make sure the call went his way. Sims tried to penetrate. Certainly he lowered the shoulder. He got knocked Mouse right to the floor. Good call by the official.
Lots of overplaying defensively. You're going to see that here this afternoon. Robertson takes Nardi inside, deals on him, shot no good, but a whistle and a foul. Nardi pleads his case, but it's falling on deaf ears as Robertson will head to the line to shoot a pair.
Boy, you look at the way the Phoenix play defense, Denny, all the overplaying, the denying of the basketball. The Vikings have to be patient and then try to run some back cut and get to the basket that way. We look at Kenny Robertson going to the basket strong. Boy, it's certainly not a very blatant foul, but nonetheless, I think he chested Kenny Robertson with his body.
Robertson scored 4 points against the Phoenix when they met earlier this year at Woodling Gym. The Vikings winning that contest 74-68. Trying to make it a clean sweep. Up high for the rebound, Stanley. So Robertson missed a pair, but Stanley cleaned up, and now we're all tied up at 4 apiece.
The Vikings' strength on the backboard displaying itself early here.
Well, you're looking at the top rebounding club in the conference against the team that's probably the worst.
Exactly right.
Vikings averaging better than 40 boards an outing, and a lot of those coming on the offensive end. Mudd finally gets a shot off. Bradley crashes the rim. Eric gets it back, takes it up, and lays it on the iron.
Well, this is just what the Vikings want and have to do, Denny. That's pound the glass, get off to a quick lead early, and then force the Phoenix to play a more up-tempo game.
Holding didn't know whether to dribble, take it to the basket, or shoot it, but he just simply stepped up, shot the J, and we're all square at a half dozen each. Bradley finds a little room in the lane. Warren takes it inside, but can't find the basket. Now Nardi picks up the loose ball. He chases to the basket.
Well, you can see that coming. Kenny Robertson measuring off his step to make that block attempt. Here we look at it again. Nardi, Robertson right with him. Ball, oh, it's a little close, but maybe on its way down.
And we've got a timeout on the floor. So with 16:01 left here in the opening half, it's the Phoenix by a pair, and you're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. Along with Clark Kellogg, the Vikings trailing by 2, and the overplay defensively man-to-man seems to be working at this stage for the Phoenix.
Right now they've got a couple of turnovers that have led to field goals. The Vikings are going to have to try to exploit that overplaying defense by making some back cuts and some penetrations to the basket. A defense can only take away so much, Denny. You can't take away everything.
Frenchie Tomlin in the lineup for Cleveland State. Long jumper up and no good by Stanley. Rebound taken off by Nardi. Frank Nardi's already been a factor in this one, averaging better than 12 points a game. He's got a half dozen here in the early stages. Roger Ripley, number 52, 6'9", sophomore center, also in the lineup for Wisconsin Green Bay. Nardi again, long range off the wing, and it's only good for 2. Anytime you start hearing all those sneakers squeak, you know that somebody's playing some defense. Foul that time on Bernie Tampa. As getting up slowly. It was Warren Bradley who did a nice job of sealing it off.
Miles here probably could have made a little better passing angle for himself if he would have taken maybe 1 or 2 more dribbles. Bradley had good position through the foul on Tampa.
4 team fouls now against the Phoenix. The Vikings have yet to commit a personal foul.
Well, Nardi has gotten a couple of open jump shots. The Vikings down there laying on screens a little bit, Danny. Not fighting through them effectively.
And during that last stoppage in play, Desmond Porter is inserted into Cleveland State's lineup. So the 2 freshman guards now on the floor. Actually, you can't call them freshmen anymore. They're basically sophomores. They've played through the better part of their first collegiate season. Sims on the move. Perimeter passing. Sims gets it down low where he likes it. Shot is partially blocked and up for the rebound. Goes Desmond Porter. Vikes down by 4, 10-6. Mouse tries to change that number, and he does. Mouse with his first basket.
Nice pull-up jump shot. It was almost a semi-break that time, a kind of delayed break. Mouse elected to shoot the controlled 15-footer.
Tampa comes down, takes the freebie, and he hits it, and you won't see the Phoenix take many of those.
They're a very good shooting basketball team, Denny. In the AMQ8, they're shooting 53% from the floor, which is right up there in the top 2 in this conference, and certainly good shot selection is part of the reason for that.
Bradley, in an effort to make a move to the basket, traveled that time. He beat his man Tampa, but then the weak side defense stepped in and forced him to travel, and this team is well-schooled defensively.
Very well-schooled defensively, Denny. They do a good job in the half-court defense with good pressure on the basketball, helping each other out when the penetration is made, either by the dribble or by the pass, force another Viking turnover.
Tampa between the circles. Connor, he's been quiet. He had a big game against the Vikings in Cleveland. Sims again, he'll pull up, take the jumper. This one wide of the mark, and Eric Mudd comes off with a rebound. Vikes could cut the lead to 2. 13-13 left here in the opening half, and there is no tomorrow for either club, especially Cleveland State. As far as the big party is concerned, the NCAA tournament, Mouse double team, kicks it off. There's a scramble for it, and Nardi comes up with a good double team that time when they turned the Mouse.
The 6th Viking turnover here in the first 7.5 minutes.
Well, that's obviously a few more than Kevin Mackey would like to see at this stage. The Vikings are the team that's supposed to create the turnovers.
At that rate, you're talking about 30 turnovers in the ball game, Denny. No coach wants to see that.
Nardi off the screen. The running one-hander is no good, and off of the rebound again is Eric Mudd. Mouse in traffic, throws the left-handed shot up. No good, and a rebound. Ricochets around, and Nardi comes off with another one at 6'3". He's got to be the leading rebounder in this one.
They're doing a nice job of screening off the Vikings, with the exception of the first 2 or 3 possessions. The Vikings have been one shot and out.
Connor, backdoor pass. Ripley's short jumper is good off the wing.
Boy, Connor's starting to suck up a little air here. He's having a tough time. He's really playing aggressive man-to-man defense on Mouse. He moves his hands and upper body as much as he moves his feet and trying to keep that pressure on Ken McFadden.
Well, Connor did a decent job against the Mouse in Cleveland. Turnaround jumper, that one up and no good. He's here to play here this afternoon. And the Vikings, who dominated the game in Cleveland from the offensive board standpoint, are now getting shut off. Maybe just one shot, maybe 2 a trip.
That's what's happened the last 4 or 5 possessions. As I looked at the Phoenix coming back to their offensive end, 3 of their 5 players were more or less walking up the floor there and just a little winded. He's not, though. This guy is on fire. Nardi.
Nardi with the 11, and it's an 8-point lead. McFadden slows things down a little bit. Dribbles through the double team, and Nardi gets whistled for a little slap on the wrist, and that's his second personal foul as the Vikings come in with wholesale substitutions. Hersey Strong, Kenny Robertson, Ray Foster, and also Herb Dixon. And we've got an official's timeout on the floor. So with 11:03 left here in the opening half, it doesn't look good. Wisconsin Green Bay 16, the Vikings 8, and you're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. Flying high in the early stages here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in front of a sellout crowd, and one of the many zanies here on hand this afternoon.
You got a bunch of them here amongst the 5,000. The Vikings don't want to let this thing get away. When you play a team that controls tempo as well as they do, you've got to stay close or even get a lead and maybe change the tempo. As long as it's going this way, Phoenix have to be happy.
Fresh horses for both teams. Kevin Mackey with 4 different players. Trying to find some kind of a key here, get a couple of baskets. Dixon operating at the point position. Hersey Strong, baseline, shielded off there, tough try. Ball ricochets around. Foster keeps it alive. Tries to pass it inside and stolen away by Pat Taphorn. Traveling ball, good defensive hustle that time by Kenny R, who stepped in Sims' way.
Excellent defensive play that time by Kenny Robertson. The Phoenix faithful on the green, but certainly he did a nice job of stepping in. Here as we look at it, Richard Sims gets it, doesn't realize Robertson is there until it's too late and walks with the basketball.
A couple of former Barberton Magic High School All-Staters there. All alone, Malloy pumps, takes it inside, and Malloy may be the guy right now to get the offense started.
Well, they need to get something inside. Excellent pass that time by Robertson. Malloy was patient when he caught the basketball and got the hoop.
There's a steal by Kenny Robertson. 3-on-2. Kenny takes it, lays it off, and once again it's Malloy.
Robertson and Malloy, back-to-back connections that time. 4 quick points for the Vikings.
Press finally starting to create some turnovers. Looked like an over and back that time. Very close indeed, but the Phoenix generally crossed the timeline. Under 10 minutes to play here in the opening half, and it's now a 16-12 contest. On the wing it goes to Richard Sims. Reversed around the other side. 3-point try is up, and it is good by Mike Carisby.
The Phoenix, they execute their offense so well, they screen down so well. The Vikings cannot afford to lay on those screens, Denny. They've got to work harder at getting out and getting through those screens and getting to the shooter.
Well, bad pass. Robertson can't handle it. Dixon that time firing it a little low and outside. Warren Bradley reinserted as Steve Malloy gets a chance to catch his breath. Kevin Mackey knew coming into this one that it would be a tough try. Green Bay beat the Vikings here last year 62-57. In that game, Richard Sims had 31 points. On the overplay, Sims takes the jumper off the wing, and he's still cold. Ripley inside off the glass. That was slapped away by Foster, but they're going to give him the basket.
Well, that was a big-time offensive rebound that time by Ripley. Ray Foster too far under the hole. to go up and block that shot without the goaltending call. Here's the offensive rebound. Ripley one dribbling up. Foster, boy, looked close on the replay.
Almost got it. Nice pump fake by Ray. A second one. Oh, my. No contact. I was going to say, where is the whistle? Ripley fouled him not once but twice, and they finally make the call.
Boy, nice move inside that time by Foster to lift the defender with the ball fake. Boy, he's shown us that move a few times, hasn't he, Denny?
Well, it's amazing, though, how many times it works, and you probably know that as well as anybody else. You got to show them that one first.
Boy, I tell you what, I get teased all the time by Herb Williams about how often I used to pump fake, but it was effective. Get those guys off their feet and then use some trickery to get it up on the glass.
Hersey Strong crashes the offense and takes it inside, and Hersey with his first basket of the afternoon makes it a 7-point lead. Phoenix, a very patient team on offense. Ron Schwartz, one of the Cleveland State assistants and head scout, said they normally will take it down to about 15 seconds on the clock every trip and then shoot it. Kenny Robertson got a piece of the basketball and slapped it out of bounds, and there's 20 left on the shot clock.
Well, I really like the fact that the Vikings have not committed any team fouls yet, Denny, and they're playing pretty good, aggressive man-to-man defense, and that was a concern that I think Coach Mackey had, was that they might get a little impatient in dealing with the team that's going to take so much time off the clock offensively.
And we've got an official's timeout on the floor. So it's 7:43 left here in the opening half. It's 21-14, Phoenix leading, and you're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. Kevin Mackey obviously concerned if the Vikes come up with a win this afternoon. That game on Monday night will be a very, very large game indeed. Karisny working against the Mouse. Mouse whistled up that time and gets called for the personal foul. Rich Bertoni making the call.
Mouse reached in that time. That's always a foul. Here we get another chance to look at it. We just missed, well, we caught the reach in as soon as the replay started, but good call by the official that time.
Vikes have done nothing but play man-to-man thus far.
I like to see teams play man-to-man, Denny. Certainly in the pro games, you're not allowed to play the zones, and that's what I've watched for the most part over the last 5-6 years. But
doesn't stop a lot of them from playing it, though.
No, they can hide it a little bit, but 95% of the time you're in the man-to-man, and both teams today are doing that.
Ball squirted loose. 13 left on the shot clock, and a personal foul. Vikings supplying some pretty heavy defense. And then very quickly now McFadden gets whistled again, and the defensive effort was there that trip.
Boy, good position with his feet that time. Mouse reached in. I think that's a ticky-tacky call by the officials, though. And Mouse just has to be more careful. Move his feet and try to refrain from reaching.
A fresh 45. Connor.
That's got to be an offensive foul. Certainly does. Obvious push off that time by Connor to use that left arm. And this guy's put together pretty good. Not very tall, but cross-country athlete in high school. Here we get a chance to look at. There it is. The stiff arm, the Walter Payton stiff arm.
It's fine if you're on the gridiron, but when you're on the hard court,
that's a no-no.
Richard Sims will check in. Frank Nardi will get a chance to sit down. 21-14, Vikings trailing by 7 with 6:55 left here in half number 1.
I think the Vikings have to look to get it inside every trip down. If it's there, then score inside. If not, then go to your outside game. But you have to try to look inside every trip down the floor because you've got such an advantage against a smaller team.
Robertson penetrates, tries to pass it around, stolen by the quick hands of Richard Sims. Kenny Robertson trying to get the ball to Eric Mudd. Mudd with just 2 points thus far. And hasn't really been able to operate much down low. They've done a nice job defensively, double teaming. Now another whistle, and this time a little bit of a reach, and I'm not sure if it's Makeup City, but but
Boy,
Richie Strong got called.
Certainly looks that way. We go from the Vikings without any team fouls. All of a sudden, they picked up 3 in the last minute. Here, pass down into the corner. Well, foul line extended, and Hersey reached in. Whistle for the foul.
William Stanley back into the CSU lineup. Adrian Bowling also playing. Shot blocked from behind. Pump fake by Bowling. Takes it up. That won't go. The offensive boards are hit. Connor comes off with it, and then on the steal attempt, Robertson gets whistled for his first personal foul.
Boy, for a smaller team, the Vikings are not doing a good enough job on their defensive board, Denny. Here we look at Kenny Robertson going in for the steal, made some body contact there and picked up the foul. Boy, short rest for Nardi. He's back in the lineup.
Carisney sits down. Nardi checks back in. Well, Sims, Connor, and Nardi are pretty much the heart and soul of Wisconsin Green Bay's team.
Well said. They're the go-to guys. They're the seniors.
Lob pass, this one too high. And quickly back on defense, the Phoenix. Alex on the wing, pulls up, takes the soft J. It won't go. Inside, Warren Bradley will bank it home. The big question in this one as it wears on is, will the Vikings be able to wear out Wisconsin Green Bay?
Well, I saw evidence of that in the first half of this first half. Then it looked like the Phoenix were a little tired. Seems like they've regrouped since, but certainly that'll be a factor as we continue to move on in this ball game.
Well, Nardi's jersey is soaking wet at this point, so he's got to be tired.
That's emotional and physical perspiration. As both teams really keyed up about this one, and sometimes...
Oh, big block inside by Mudd. Super block as Connor thought he had the bunny inside. Mouse with a penetrating move, kicks it off. Stanley will try the wing jumper. That one short of the mark. Mudd in traffic, got slapped in the face. Stanley with a follow. That won't go, and it's an assault on the offensive boards, but no points for the Vikings.
Boy, they pounded the offensive glass about as well as you can pound it, Denny. All for naught, though. It's all for naught as they don't come up with the field goal. But you got to like that effort, though. That's where the Vikings, I think, can wear down this Phoenix club. Inside, pounding the glass and creating extra scoring opportunities for themselves.
Still a 5-point advantage. 21-16, and this one expected to be a fairly low-scoring affair.
Well, the Phoenix only averaged 63 points a ball game coming in. They give up 3 or 4 fewer than that.
And officials time out because Michael Connor lost a contact. Quickly found it. Slap it back in, and Dr. Nardi checks over.
That takes skill to do that, you know, to put that contact in without a mirror.
Do you wear contacts?
I wear one. I've got a perfect left eye. My right eye is a little weak.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I wear one. I don't have it in now.
Did you ever lose it when you were playing?
No. Never lost it. As a matter of fact, I've got a colored one now, so you can find it anywhere. If it falls out, it's tinted orange. On this floor, though, it'd be tough to find.
Yeah. Especially after one of those 6'9" centers stepped on it, right? 13 on the shot clock. Up in the air went Carisney. He passes off to Tampa, pulls up, takes the J, rim no good. Crash in the boards, but Mr. Mean comes off with it. Warren Bradley. Vikes could cut the lead to 3 with a 2-pointer this trip. Oh, nice move by the Mouse. Can't make the bank shot, though. Back up hot and heavy is Eric Mudd, and Eric now has 4.
Boy, strong rebound that time. Excellent move by Mouse to get loose for the shot. Didn't finish the play strongly, but Mudd right there to pick up the offensive board. Vikings doing a real nice job here, Denny, of staying within themselves. They're being patient, and they're right in this ball game again.
Dixon in traffic, kicks it back out to the Mouse, who'll work 1-on-3. He gets hammered, throws it up, and the Mouse McFadden will pay dearly for the 2 free throws he'll get after that foul.
Well, the Mouse, he's as good as I've seen at the college level at drawing fouls. Here he's going to use the pump fake. Good 2-foot stop in the lane there. Realizes he's going to get hit. Still figures out a way to get it up towards the hoop and earn those 2 free throws. Well, I was in the Detroit airport on my way here this morning and ran into the New Jersey Nets and talked with Otis Birdsong and Buck Williams and Kevin McKinnon and a few of the other guys. And they know about the Mouse. They say the Mouse is having a good year. I said, he certainly is. He's only a junior. And they wonder whether the Mouse will be able to play at the next level. And I'd have to say at this point, he's got an outside shot. The jury's still out, but he's got a whole nother year to really improve. He's got some of the intangibles you like to see in moving to the next level. He's just going to have to work on refining some certain aspects of his game.
Well, the Vikings are working on refining the score, and they have. They trail now by 1 as we've got a timeout on the floor with 3:33 left here in the opening half. You're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. For the Cleveland State Vikings will more than likely head through Northern Iowa, and you'll get a chance to watch the Vikes play against Northern Iowa on Monday evening, 8:30 p.m. to start on WOIO 19, 8:35 the opening tip-off. But first things first, the Green and Whites have to figure out how to beat Wisconsin-Green Bay on the road.
They've done a nice job at tearing the lead, Denny, and I feel the momentum shifting just a bit as the Vikings have been able to cut this lead back down to 1. And the Phoenix have played pretty well, played their type of game, and the Vikings still right there.
Partially blocked by Dixon, and the Vikings can take the lead for the first time in ages if they score this trip. The Mouse will try it, and he'll hit it from the outside. Mouse now with 6. And you go, as Clark said, to your get-it guys in the clutch, and Mouse McFadden obviously one of 2.
Oh, he's the guy, and it helps that he handles the ball most of the time, so he can pick and choose his spots to try to give his team a big hoop.
William Stanley whistled for the personal foul, and the Vikings had themselves a nice double team that trip.
Excellent double team here, Malloy and Stanley, but then the reach in. You want to double team with your feet, active hands, but you don't want to reach in when you're double teaming. You want to force that turnover and not give the team a foul and bail them out of a tough situation.
5th team foul against the Vikings. Phoenix already up and over the top of the limit. Kiner getting away with a near travel that trip. Sims has had an off afternoon thus far. Richard Sims yet to score in this one. He's their leading point producer, averaging better than 15 a game. Which, as I say that, he gets the pass from Nardi down low, and I'll keep my mouth shut the rest of the game.
Yeah, you got his ears burning, Denny. He heard you over here.
We'll just leave him, leave well enough alone from here on out, right?
Sounds good to me.
Nice tuck pass down in low. Eric Mudd had to go down to get it, and he was fouled from behind, and so Eric will head to the free throw line to shoot the 1-and-1.
Eric Mudd has been relatively quiet for the most part. Excellent pass that time by Herb Dixon into the low post. Mudd did a nice job of going down, catching it. The ball was below his knees. He bent down and got it.
Boy, when you consider the type of season that Eric Mudd has had, as he comes into this one averaging 18.4 points a game and 9.8 rebounds. Those, of course, are overall. His numbers are even better if you look at just AMQA play. The one key ingredient this year that's been a problem, the free throw line, as he is shooting 59.6% on the season, 56.5 in AMQA play. If he were shooting 70%, he'd be averaging over 20 points a game.
That's right. You'd have to add a few more. You'd have to pad that average a little bit. First free throw went up and down well, but the second one was shot like a 57% free throw shooter. Flat, no rotation. I think it's just a matter of working on it.
Connor decides not to challenge Eric Mudd, and the steal by Hersey Strong. We're all tied at 23 all, with 1:36 left in the first half, and then back the other way it goes. Bradley chases Tampa. He'll lay it up. Shot blocked away. No foul. Connor with a pump fake takes the soft J, and he scores.
Well, that's a 4-point turnaround because I think Mouse McFadden had Herb Dixon on the left wing open for a possible layup, elected to keep it on the floor, and lost the basketball, and the Phoenix go down the other way and get a hoop. That's one of the adjustments you have to make as a point guard, having played the two-guard position, is giving that thing up a little sooner on the break.
Ripley comes up and blocks Eric Mudd's shot from the right side of the block. And now we're under a minute to play here in the opening half. Vikings will get at least one more offensive attempt. Oh, back screen. Nardi takes it inside. Mudd got a piece of it. And whether or not the goaltend was called, it doesn't make any difference because the shot went through anyway.
Nice execution at the offensive end by Wisconsin Green Bay. But Denny, you can't have a guy come from the weak side to the strong side that wide open. You've got to put a body on him. You've got to get your man. You've got to get somebody between him and the basketball. That time Nardi just walked freely through the paint, which is prize territory. You've got to put a body on the guy when he comes from the weak side to the strong side. That time the Vikings did cost him a hoop.
Well, against a good screening, picking team, if you're playing defense and turn your head, you got some problems.
Exactly. You've got to communicate with one another defensively, help one another out, help each other get through the pick. And we've seen it happen in this first half a few times where the Vikings have laid on picks and not helped one another out well enough.
10 left on the shot clock. You're looking at the game clock there in the corner. Mouse pulls up, has the shot blocked. Connor fights for it. It's loose. Mouse takes it, gathers it up, and scores. Gonna have to hurry. 2 seconds. Connor sees it, shoots it at the buzzer, but the shot is up and is a little shy of the mark. Well, it's been an interesting, entertaining first half of basketball. Lots of defense. And those gentlemen heading to their respective locker rooms are going to need a towel and a cool drink of water because we'll have a big second half coming up. Halftime score here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Phoenix 27, the Vikings 25, and you're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. They trailed by as many as 8 at one stage early on in the first half of play. And we're in the state of Wisconsin, and you know they love their beer here in Wisconsin. And of course, one of our sponsors, the good folks at Beverage Distributing, they distribute Miller High Life products. And there you see Clark Kellogg. They're stacking the 16-ounce version of the Millers, and they're doing a pretty good job of it.
Very impressive so far. None have toppled over yet.
Let's hope they don't have any earthquakes, or somebody's going to have a couple of shook-up Miller High Life beers. Oh, well. First half, Frank Nardi with 12 points, played very big. The Vikings, though, struggled. Eric Mudd with only 4 points in the first half, 5 points in the first half of play, and the Vikings really couldn't get it done inside.
The pace of this game is certainly in favor of the Phoenix. They played the way they want to play. The score is about where they'd like to have it at halftime. Here we look at one of the few opportunities that the Vikings had inside. Although they made, I imagine, of their field goals, they had maybe 11 field goals in that half, one right there by Steve Malloy. Here's Sims inside to Connor, and Mudd coming over trying to make the block. Does make the block there and initiates what we hoped would be a fast break.
Unfortunately, that was a goaltending call as well against Eric Mudd. And Clark and I will be back with a look at the first half statistics after we take this time out. Halftime score in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Phoenix 27 and the Vikings 25. You're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. Only 2 points separating the Vikings and the Phoenix here in Green Bay, and what is easily the biggest game of the year for the Cleveland State Vikings. If they win this afternoon, and if they would beat Northern Iowa on Monday night, they would at least share the NQA title and hopefully make it to the NCAA tournament. If they lose here this afternoon, though, it's probably adios to the NCAA and hello NIT.
You're right, Denny. The Vikings certainly have to take care of business here and get together and put together a better second half. Right now, things in favor of the Phoenix because it's a low-scoring affair.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers, the way they stacked up after 20 minutes of basketball action. And there you see the Vikings shooting 42%, 48 for Wisconsin Green Bay. Not much in the free throw department. Rebounds a little closer than we anticipated.
Well, I thought the Phoenix were going to have to do a decent job, a respectable job on the board to have a chance at winning. They take care of the basketball well enough, have done that. They've only turned it over 7 times. The Vikings have turned it over 9. So certainly the 2 areas that I thought were going to be keys, turnovers and rebounding, are certainly in favor of the Phoenix right now. They're holding their own in both departments.
Yeah, they don't see many games where Cleveland State turns it over more than their opponents. Let's take a look as we'll break the teams down individually and look at the scoring leaders. McFadden with 8, Mudd with 5. Malloy came in quickly to score a couple of baskets, and Warren Bradley also has 2 hoops inside. And they're on the other side of the ledger this afternoon. Frank Nardi with a dozen, and you don't see Richard Sims in there. Sims did not even score in the first half.
Well, he's their leading scorer. He's first in Division I scoring in the history of this university, third overall in the scoring column, but has yet to put in a field goal here this afternoon. Maybe a little anxious about playing in a big game against some people that he's played with before, and also the fact that he lists Alvin Robertson as the guy he most admires in terms of athletes. So certainly I think he wants to do well, but maybe pressing just a little bit in that first half.
There you see a look down the Cleveland State bench, and I'll just throw this question out. It probably won't have much of an effect, but what about playing in the afternoon? The Vikings haven't done much of it this year. Has that had an effect?
It possibly could, but I really don't think it's anything significant. When it's time to get between the lines, you've got to be ready, whether it's evening, whether it's afternoon. And the Vikings got here last night. They're able to get themselves ready, and I don't think that plays that big a factor.
All right, let's talk adjustments now. What do you think Kevin Mackey has chatted with the troops about at halftime, considering the fact that they've only scored 25 points after 20 minutes of play, a team that's averaging better than 84 an outing?
Well, I think turnovers are something that Coach Mackey had to talk about. They had too many turnovers in that first half. I think, secondly, he's probably a little concerned about the pace of this basketball game. The Phoenix have been allowed to dictate tempo. That's their strength. That's what they do well. Patience offensively, good aggressive defense, and they forced the Vikings out of their own half-court game. They've extended the Vikings half-court game, and with the exception of some offensive rebounds and a few other inside hoops, the Vikings have not really been fluid in their half-court offense. So I think they need to force the Phoenix into some turnovers and then make the game a little more faster-paced, a little more up-tempo, Denny.
As you came into this one, you and I were chatting, defensively you can take certain things away from certain teams if you want to, but you're going to give up others. At this point, do you think their game plan was to stop Eric Mudd inside and let the chips fall where they may?
I think so. I think they've really been conscious of focusing in on Eric Mudd down in the low post, surrounding him with 2 or 3 people in a sagging type man-to-man. The Vikings haven't shot it that well, only 10 of 24, so the perimeter shots are going to be there, but I think they have to probe and explore getting it inside first and foremost, make the Phoenix adjust to that, and then knock down open perimeter shots and pound the offensive glass, which they did fairly well, but not quite well enough overall in that first half.
Phoenix, the first team to break the huddle. They start Ripley, Sims, Tompa, Nardi, and more than likely Michael Connor, and that's the way they'll come out. So a bit of a change. Adrian Boulding got the start to begin with, but Ripley at 6'9" will play inside. The Vikings break the huddle with Warren Bradley, along with Eric Mudd, Mouse McFadden, Kenny Robertson, and William Stanley, the same starting 5 that Kevin Mackey initiated about 45 minutes ago. 27-25, Vikings trail by a basket. In game number 27 on the 87-88 campaign, Vikes 20-6 coming into this one. 10-2 in AMQ8 play. Southwest Missouri State has already won this past week, and so they are 11-2. Stanley, with a dribbling exhibition, finally loses it to Nardi, who whistles it down the floor, and Mouse steps in. McFadden will take it all the way to the goal and have it blocked by Ripley. Robertson knocked down, no whistle, no foul, and Connor is on the move. Connor takes it to the board, and he is fouled by Bradley, and Connor will shoot a pair.
Boy, a really sloppy exchange at the other end. The Vikings couldn't come up with it. Wisconsin Green Bay couldn't get a handle on it. Ended up in a turnover by the Vikings. They're 10th in this ball game. Certainly not the way you want to start the half. Here we look at Connor in the open floor. Looked like Warren Bradley got him from behind. But I think that foul was whistled on Stanley. Is that who the foul was whistled?
I thought they got Bradley for
Okay,
it.
maybe it was. Bradley was certainly there, him and Stanley both, and it looked to me like Bradley got him from behind as Connor misses the first free throw.
Well, the Vikes get a break there. Connor misses both.
Neither one of these teams lighting the world up in terms of shooting it from the stripe.
Well, Vikings are last in the league, and Wisconsin Green Bay 6th among the 8 teams. Robertson looks first to Mudd, then Nardi slaps it away. takes it down the left side, and he is fouled from behind by William Stanley. And for Stanley, that's personal number 2, team foul number 2 very quickly here in the second half.
Connor trying to get to the basket here. Stanley trying to take the shortcut. Didn't move his feet at all. Decided to reach from behind. Picked up the foul. Boy, 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Vikings. Not a very good start in the second half.
Got to take care of the basketball and play with some strength, especially when you're on the road. Any coach will tell you that. Sims finally takes it and banks it off the window. And Sims now with 4. I thought he was shut out in the first half, but he did have 1 basket late in the first half of play. Bradley down low, tough shot. That one won't go. A mountain full of bodies inside, and Sims at 6'3" comes away with a basketball. Attendance this afternoon, 5,342. Once again, number 21 gets whistled, and for Kenny Robertson, that's his second.
Boy, a couple of quick turnovers and now 3 quick team fouls, Denny. The Vikings certainly off to a shaky start here. They've got to remain patient at the defensive end. You don't want to start reaching, trying to come up with big steals and get yourself into foul trouble early in this half.
Sims pump fake, and he'll take it inside. Robertson again gets it as Sims took him to the baseline.
Sims a little ball fake. Robertson didn't bite on the fake. Sims tried to get to a space that wasn't actually there, and the officials blew the whistle on Robertson. Well, I tell you what, that one could have went either way, Denny.
It looked like Kenny had worked himself into a pretty good position. Sims was called for an offensive foul earlier. Play very similar to that one. This time it went the other way. Robertson with 3 has to sit, and Dixon now inserted. So he draws number 24. 29-25. Phoenix by 4. Inside, Connor right over the top of Eric Mudd. Eric trying to draw the offensive foul, but didn't get the call.
Good ball movement that time by the Phoenix. They're small, but they went inside effectively that time because of good ball movement.
Mouse kicks it off. Stanley with a long-range jumper that goes for 3.
Well, that's one way to cut a lead in half. It's now a 3-point game, and that shot will be available with that type of penetration and dish from the Mouse.
Hustling back. Nardi finally dishes off. Ripley takes it up over the top, and Mudd was right there. Ripley couldn't hit the jam.
Undecided as to whether he's going to dunk it or lay it up. That usually results in a miss.
McFadden tries to fight through the defense. Kick pass down low. Mudd lost it, and it's gathered up now by Connor.
Boy, they got 3 people around Mudd, and as soon as that ball looks like it's going into him.
Now, I don't think there's any secret that the game plan drawn up by Wisconsin Green Bay was to shut down number 33, and they've done so effectively. Had 5 points in the first half, and those were all tough points to come by. Short jumper. Connor no good. Ball off to Warren Bradley. McFadden turning up the heat. Mouse inside. Jump step. Lays it off. Shot by Dixon is good.
Oh, excellent penetration and dish that time by the Mouse. Took it right into the heart of the defense. Dumped it off to Herb Dixon. And the Vikings are going to have to adjust to the fact that 3 people are surrounding Mudd in the low post and maybe knock down some open 15 to 16-foot jump shots.
Coming into this one, the Mouse trailing Jimmy Les by 1 assist. Or actually, they were tied, and now he has set a record single season for most assists. Left wing jumper no good by Connor. Mouse McFadden continues to set records in his junior year. Vikes at this point in time could take the lead.
I think that's going to be a key for the outcome of this game, Denny. The Vikings are going to have to get a cushion, get a lead, and then that way they can force tempo a little more.
Stanley with a tough shot in traffic on the left baseline, a little short of the mark, and Connor comes off with it. And there you see the fatigue factor. 3 of the Phoenix of Wisconsin Green Bay walking up the floor on offense.
They're in no hurry. But like you say, Denny, that's probably due to being a little winded. And that's why it would be important for the Vikings to be able to get a cushion and maybe really wear them out.
Long range for Tampa. That one won't go. Ripley high for the board. And
oh, boy.
I'm going to take a little exception to this.
Oh,
ball.
my.
Ripley both had a piece of the ball, and they whistled Eric.
Boy, I didn't see that one. I don't know how that can be a foul on. But, well, there's a wide-open three-point shot attempt here. Ripley and Mudd up high for the rebound. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Well, we've got a timeout on the floor. Simmer down. Relax, Mr. Kellogg. 14:48 left in this one. Vikings trailing by 1, 31-30. And we'll be back. You're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. Poland as the Ohio State Buckeyes host the Spartans of Michigan State. You can catch all the action on 19 WOIO a little bit later on. But got to pay attention right now to MQ8 play. Vikings in a bind. Sims took it, lost it, but gets the call. Hershey Strong a little aggravated with that one. First time this afternoon, Dean Vanderplas sees the floor, a 6'5" freshman who started against Cleveland State earlier this year. Pretty talented performer, very physical player.
Well, he's got a body on him.
Yep. Looks more like a football player than a basketball player. Nardi after the timeout can't get it, and Eric Mudd with both hands brings down the rebound. You look at a game like this, and you can almost bet that it's going to go down to the final couple of possessions.
Looks that way right now, but I really feel if the Vikings can put together a spurt where they've got a lead of 5 or 6, they can really extend it because of their ability to put heat on the Phoenix.
Mouse with a really tough shot against Sims. Ricocheted off. Rebound comes off, and a whistle and a personal foul. And for Frank Nardi, that's his second, team foul number 1 here in the second half.
Vikings already with 5 team fouls. That looms as a factor in this one.
13:56 left. 31-30. Vikings down by a point. But again in traffic, can't get it to go, but his counterpart, Warren Bradley, in the right spot at the right time. Warren gets the basket and draws the foul.
Boy, that was excellent play from the start to the finish that time, Denny. They used a little high post action, low post action, where they brought everybody else out front as we look at Mudd missing the shot. Warren Bradley right there on the weak side. Obvious foul that time.
Mr. Bradley applauding his own efforts and also the whistle and the foul. Let's see if he can make the three-pointer play off, and he does.
Well, at that time they got the lob in the Mudd, who was being fronted. No weak side help. Coach Schwartz talked to us about that prior to the game. And that time it paid dividends as Bradley got the missed Mudd shot, converted a three-pointer.
Vanderplas takes it all the way. Basket is waved off, and he's called for the offensive foul. Foster hit the deck.
Boy, Foster paid for that one. Vanderplas showing you some agility for a guy his size. Here we look at him again. Right-hand dribble into the paint. Boy, he went right into Ray. I mean, that's you don't have to be a chemist to see that was an obvious offensive foul.
Steve Malloy checks in.
The big fella tried to slice and slash that body, but it wouldn't quite move for him, did he? Ran right head on into Ray Foster.
The mind was willing, but the body was not. Now when you're 6'5" and about 230.
It's a little tougher to change direction in the air when you got that kind of bulk to carry with you.
Yeah.
Although at 6'8", 230, I managed to do some slicing and slashing in my day.
In your opinion, you did. There's a steal by Nardi, and then back the other way. Mouse got called for trying to get the basketball back. Well, Mouse McFadden now with 3 personals, so the Mouse and Kenny Robertson with 3 each. As there you see the pacing Kevin Mackey trying to work the bench a little bit. He's got to pull the Mouse out and insert Herbie Dixon.
Well, the Vikings now, Mouse in foul trouble, Robertson in foul trouble, the team in foul trouble, as that was their 6th in this half.
Now, one more, and you hate to put the home team on the line with 13 minutes left in a basketball game, especially when it's close. Vander Plas, whistle foul on Hersey Strong. Vander Plas will head to the line to shoot 2, and as we've just mentioned, now the Phoenix up over the limit.
Boy, Vander Plas in the paint here. Hersey comes over a little late. Boy, was on top of the orange. It must have been a body foul because he got a mitt on top of the basketball there.
Vander Plas averaging 8 points and about 3 rebounds a game. One of those players that is a very aggressive player, especially on offense. He will challenge you down low, even though he's only 6'5".
Got that nice wide body. He's got a nice shooting touch for a guy of his size as well, as he converts both free throws and locks things up again.
Dixon now plays the point, while McFadden has to sit with 3 personals.
Look at how far Cleveland State's offense is away from the basket, Denny.
Turnover for the guys in green. Kevin trying to orchestrate a little bit, get all of the chess pieces in the right spots. He doesn't waste any time getting players back into the lineup. Eric Mudd and Mouse McFadden. And I think Kevin senses at this point that Green Bay is too good defensively to be throwing the ball around.
You can't turn it over. They had 9 in the first half. Have already had a couple in this half. And we're going to have an offensive foul called, I think, on Eric Mudd. That counts as another turnover.
Yep. Mudd trying to create a little space inside on the lob on the inbounds play. Got whistled. And Eric, who scored 27 against Wisconsin Green Bay earlier this year at Woodland Gym, has still been held to only 5.
Well, they've done a nice job in their half-court defense, Denny, playing good aggressive pressure on the basketball and then sloughing off whenever it gets in the mud, or even before it gets into him. They surrounded him with 2 or 3 players, and the Vikings have not been that consistent in hitting perimeter shots, so the Phoenix has been able to get away with that ploy.
Well, it's almost to the point, you know, where you maybe kick it into him and have him quickly pass it back out and try for the 12 to 15 footer. But obviously it's a lot easier to sit here and talk about that than it is to actually put it into motion. McFadden will have to be careful, though, and so will Kenny Robertson. They both have 3. But I guess this is a game that you got to take some chances in, too, especially on the road.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You got to go with your best.
Vander Plas with a flat-footed rebound.
Go, Peter!
Arizmi back around the perimeter. Phoenix really trying to break down the defense. And they do as Arizmi hits the 3-pointer.
He and Nardi, 2 of the best 3-point shooters in the conference, ranked 1 and 3 respectively in that department.
Mouse tries to work against Sims, does so, and hits the baby jumper on the wing.
Boy, tough shot that time by Mouse, but we've grown accustomed to seeing him put those tough shots down on a regular basis.
First basket of the second half for McFadden. Contact at mid-floor that wasn't seen on the screen. Hersey Strong tried to take a charge. He and Nardi went down, but there was no whistle. A nice block down field, as they say. Arizmi has 2 3-pointers, kicks it to Vander Plas, then gets it back. 3-point Wisconsin Green Bay lead with 11:53 left in this one. Robertson got a piece and slapped it back to Nardi. 5 left on the shot clock. Nardi sees it, going to try and work for the shot. Over on the wing to Karizny. And he hits the 2-pointer. Malloy had it, couldn't get it, takes it back inside. And for some reason or other, the horn went off. Kevin Mackey up off the bench. Boy, this is a tough break for Cleveland State because Malloy had all the offensive position and the ball.
Missed his initial shot, but got the rebound himself. And was in great inside position for a gimme. And now we're going to see what happens here. Al Estes in the picture there, Coach Mackey. And we still don't have any decisions.
Well, I guess they're just going to give Cleveland State the basketball. Vikings make a few substitutions. Dixon and William Stanley check in along with Warren Bradley. And now we've got an official's timeout on the floor, and so they unscramble things. 10:27 left here in the basketball game. It's the Phoenix by 5 here in Green Bay, and you're watching Cleveland State basketball on 19. CSU player to be named the Miller Viking of the game. The player will receive an award, plus the Miller Brewing Company will be making a donation to the CSU Development Fund on that player's behalf. The Zebras have been critical thus far in this one today. Kevin Mackey, I don't think, is crazy about what's transpired thus far, but when you're on the road, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it. Vikings with a basketball, but they trail by 5. Lob to Mudd, takes it in, crashes, throws the baby jump hook up, and finally gets a basket.
One of the few shot opportunities for Mudd that time. Nice little baby hook into the middle of the lane. And boy, we'd love to see him get those opportunities a little more often. Green Bay has been very good, though, in their half-court defense. They play good pressure on the basketball, and they turn it over right there. Break for the Vikings.
Back the other way comes McFadden. 40-37. House gets called for the 5 seconds.
Well, I don't know, but
oh boy,
I tell you what, Denny, seemed like a quick 5 to me.
Well, Sims was there providing the defense. McFadden didn't penetrate and got called for the 5. So the Vikings create a turnover and then they give it right back.
See, the Vikings being in foul trouble can't be overly aggressive in their defense. Neither can they be impatient. So that's why this situation favors the Phoenix, because they're such a well-schooled team in actually moving the basketball, running their cutters through, and getting open perimeter shots. And they've got some pretty good shooters. Karizny and Nardi. Here's we look at the shot attempt there. William Stanley, excellent defensive rebounding position. Richard Sims went up over the back, picked up the foul, but that's only their 3rd team foul in the half.
Foul number 3 against Richard Sims. So Robertson, Sims, and McFadden with 3 each. Mouse, they make it 4 now on Sims as Mouse challenged him on the left baseline. And Sims now is going to have a problem because he has 4 personal fouls already. Don't forget, you're watching Cleveland State basketball on WOIO 19, Shaker Heights, Cleveland, the television home of Vikings basketball.
Now the Phoenix with 5 team fouls, so things slowly starting to balance themselves out in the foul department here.
Sims will have to sit with 9:19 left in this one. And a miscue in communication between Stanley and the Mouse. Good double team, but Connor across the timeline with it. 3-point basketball game. Vikings still trail. Already shut off at the baseline. He'll really become the offensive player probably now for the Phoenix. Tampa, top of the key, takes the long jumper though, and he drills it.
Boy, that hurts. Good defense for the most part, but the Vikings have broken down and allowed those three-point shots to go up. Charizny has hit a couple, and that time Tampa from the top of the circle.
Mudd inside, gets pounded by Connor, and Eric was in the process of shooting, so he'll get to shoot too. Don't forget this broadcast comes to you through the authority of Cleveland State University and WOIO 19. Any rebroadcast or use of this play-by-play without the express written permission of Cleveland State University and WOIO 19 is strictly prohibited.
Here, Mouse in traffic. Well, Mudd is actually got the pass from Mouse prior to that part of the replay, but Mudd going up strong, slapped right across the wrist. He'll get 2 charity tosses. Well, this Achilles heel of the Vikings shows up tremendously in a tight ball game on the road when you get to that stripe, and you've got to be able to capitalize.
Well, Stanley had it and lost it. Ripley went down and getting up very slowly. Roger Ripley twisted that left ankle. Stanley had both hands on the ball, and either somebody got him with the body or slapped it away. And Ripley now going to be helped off the floor, and Adrian Bolding will check in. Ripley at 6'9" will have to sit down. He's really done a heck of a job defensively against Mudd inside, so now without him and Bolding at 6'2" reinserted, maybe Eric Mudd and Warren Bradley can get something going inside.
Well, they'll certainly be at a disadvantage without Ripley. He's about 6'8", 6'9", good jumper. Blocked a couple of shots in this ball game so far today. Phoenix, a small team already, become that much smaller with Ripley on the bench.
43-37. Vikings down by a half dozen. With 8:27 left in this one.
I said it earlier, size really doesn't make a difference unless you take advantage of it. Any advantage you have as a ball club, if you don't exploit it, then it's not doing you any good.
Connor will take it in against Mudd, shoot it off the glass, and you've seen the result. Once again, the biggest lead, tying the biggest lead of the contest, an 8-point spread. Lob to Bradley. Warren waits his turn and takes it up. And just as I mentioned, the Vikings now with a big advantage underneath the bucket.
That time they just spreaded things out offensively. Bradley was played one-on-one down in the low post. Mouse just lobbed it up over the defender. Easy shot for Bradley on the baseline.
Mouse off the loose ball, can't get it to go, and then Warren Bradley is called right underneath the basket for the foul.
Well, you got to question that shot selection by the Mouse. He's complaining that he was fouled, but certainly when you've got an advantage inside, Denny, in a close ball game, you don't want to take those perimeter shots without at least exploring taking the ball inside. And that time, Mouse elected after the turnover to pull up with the long jumper, was short, and subsequently Warren Bradley picks up a foul on the offensive rebound attempt.
Charizny with 8 points thus far this afternoon is heading to the line, and now Nate Humphrey has a discussion with Ed Marich to determine who is heading to the free throw line, and it turns out to be Charizny.
Well, I tell you what, I'm wondering if this is a misprint, but it says Charizny only shooting 47% from the stripe.
I can't hardly believe that.
I can't either.
Anything there. Well, they're on their feet, rocking and rolling in Green Bay. We've got a timeout on the floor. 7:51 left in this one. It's the Phoenix 47, the Vikings 39. You're watching. First time we've seen Brian Klimke at 6'9" and about 240, a senior in the lineup as he replaces Bolding. So obviously Dick Stevens making a change, or Bennett rather, making a change, going from man to man to a zone and applying some heavy hitters down low, but Stanley takes advantage and hits the three-point.
Oh, big hoop that time, cuts the lead to 5. Good offensive execution by the Vikings that time as they took advantage of the zone Stanley knocked down the three-pointer.
Being chased from behind. Good defensive position for Robertson. And there's the personal foul called on number 20, Carisby. Robertson got to the right spot ahead of him.
Boy, he's got such great quickness. That time he used it on the defensive end. Carisby here taking it up the floor. Oh, close call as we look at the replay. Vikings will take it, though. They need to capitalize. They need to get a field goal out of it. Looks like the Phoenix back into the man-for-man.
Didn't take long. Stanley burned him for three. Robertson, two spin moves. Whips it out to the mouse. High above the rest. No go. Bradley, big rebound off the glass. No good. But Bradley, crashing the offensive boards, will get a chance to cut the lead to as little as 3.
Boy, Bradley's done a nice job all game long on the offensive glass. Again, good extra effort. Comes up with the second shot opportunity. Now he must convert the free throws. That's the key, Denny. You've got to get to the line. Not only do you need to get there, but you've got to make them.
Warren hit his first 2 free throws of this one as Pat Taphorn checks in, and Bernie Topper will sit down.
Dick Bennett trying to counter size with size now as the Vikings have had their way on the offensive glass during different parts of this ball game today.
Dick Bennett has really done an outstanding job here in 3 seasons at Green Bay. Free shot is up and good, and boy, don't you love to see Cleveland State make some of those pressure free throws down the stretch. It makes life so much easier.
It really does. And you talk about wanting to get to that big party, the NCAA, these are the kind of things that'll get you there.
Hell, that one looked good, but it didn't go. Long pass, and if Eric Mudd didn't get a piece of it, it's Cleveland State's ball, but I guess number 33 got a fingernail on it.
Oh, boy, tough break there, but
yeah.
The pressure's starting to rattle the Phoenix just a little bit as they've had a tough time the last few possessions getting into anything offensively.
Still plenty of time left in this one. And now Humphrey whistles Robertson away from the ball as he flattened at number 30, Mike Counter.
Well, I think earlier in the game when Kenny Robertson didn't have the 3 fouls, you've got to almost take one of those fouls because you might get a break. If the offensive player is moving, trying to set that pick, the only way you're going to get the call against the offensive player is if you run right over him. If you try to dodge a moving screen, then there's no way you're going to get the foul call. That time Robertson flattened Connors, and he's at the line.
Mike Connor now with 7 points on the afternoon, averaging just a little less than 10 points per game. Uh-oh, Taphorn with a pump fake, takes it up, can't get it to go, and off for the rebound is Warren Bradley. Stanley with a long-range jumper that won't go.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about that shot selection. Certainly had a chance to go down, but one pass, 1-on-3, long perimeter jumper.
Carisby picks it back. Klimke's shot won't go, and Mudd this time clears it off. Mouse inside, fouled by Connor, who got a piece of the leather, but also probably a little more of number 10.
And he came right across the top, raked the Mouse right across the forearms. As we look at it again, Mouse gets penetration into the lane, and Connor right on top of that right hand.
Richardson's back in. Mike Connor sits down. A number of players right now are going to have to be careful. Connors with 4, Sims with 4, Robertson with 4. And you don't want to bow out of this one either. Vikings trail by 4. And there's a look at Roger Ripley, who has obviously done away with the shoe and the sock, and he's got the ice pack on the left ankle. He's done for this afternoon. Over and back.
Boy, he's straddling the line there.
Oh, no. I can't believe nobody saw that.
Boy, they saw it. The people here don't care about it not being called.
Oh, my. Plenty that time. Over and back, not once, but I think twice.
Straddled the half-court line. Everybody was a blind man here.
Oh, brother. Certain turnover that trip. Karizny can't leave him alone. Karizny with a dozen, and it's 50-44.
He's gotten them all the same way, pretty much the same spot. 15, 16 feet away. Oh, tough shot by the Mouse. Well, the Vikings need stoppers here now, Denny. They need defensive stops. They cannot allow Karizny to shoot standstill jumpers. As we look at what we thought was an over and back. Look at this, straddling the line. That's got to be an over and back. Look at this.
That's what I said. I saw it. I couldn't believe nobody else did.
Well, they saw it here, Denny, but these people are rooting for Wisconsin Green Bay.
Yeah,
so that's
what about the Zebras? There's 3 of them out there.
Yeah, you're right. No excuse for Six Eyes to miss that one.
Wow. Lob inside. Sims can't handle it, and the guys in green will run it back the other way. 50-46. And it's no time for the feign of heart. Stanley all alone, and he'll hit the jumper.
Boy, you love to see Stanley shoot that basketball with that kind of confidence. Follow through. Crunch time right now as the Vikings trail by 2, and he knocks that one down like a pro.
Stanley stroked it, and then Dixon got called for stroking Nardi on the forearm. Herb Dixon, a real competitor.
Nardi tries to split the double team there. Herb Dixon reached in from behind and picked up the foul.
Nardi on the season, 73% free throw shooter. Klimke sits down, Bernie Tompa checks in, so you lose a little height, but you gain some mobility and defensive presence.
Exactly.
4:45 left in this one, 50-48. Pretty good afternoon's work right there for a guard.
Not too shabby.
Guards aren't supposed to get rebounds, you know.
I know you don't do any boarding in that league you play in. I know you're just casting it up from the three-point arc. Little defense,
Boy,
no rebound.
That's a real shot coming from you. Right to the solar plexus. But I can't disagree with it. That's what's aggravating.
Right, the truth hurts.
It's a 4-point spread. Mouse trying to change that too. Oh, jump! Oh my.
He went into his bag of tricks with that one. A baseline 8-foot jump hook from a point guard.
He must be dreaming with that shot.
I'll tell you what, he just gave us a little eye contact here.
He knew. Of course, with the Mouse, you're never really sure what he's going to try and deal, but he came by us in the last trip and winked at us, so I think he might have been saving that when Stanley got whistled at the other end, and we're back into a free throw shooting contest.
He doesn't lack for imagination. Boy, look at this shot. I can't say anything about it. Just watch it, folks.
Mouse with 15. Rim no good. Little help from the missed free throw. Vikes could tie it up. If they shoot a 3 in, they'll be ahead. How about it? Oh, Williams. Stanley gets whistled for traveling.
Boy, I tell you what, again, officials sometimes anticipate calls, Denny. It certainly looked like William Stanley was going to go up.
You can drop the ball when you go up.
Kevin with a smile on his face, I think trying to steal one there perhaps, but...
Boy, I tell you what, Stanley put the ball on the floor in rhythm with his jump. And sometimes the officials just think a call looks like a situation looks like a walk, and they'll blow that whistle.
Oh, backdoor cut and a nice one, and Connor gets the delivery free of charge from Sims.
Boy, defensive breakdown there. Can't afford to give up layups or open perimeter shots.
And that should be it for Richard Sims. Kenny Robertson took him to the baseline. And there you see Sims and Robertson exchanging a congratulatory handshake. They played against each other on the same team in high school at Barberton High. And there you see the reach foul. Kenny just too quick for him.
Well, I tell you what, that's a close foul for the last one on the guy. I barely saw the reach in, but it's over for Sims. Fouls out with only 4 points. Certainly well below his 15-point average.
Gets a nice round of applause in his final home game here as a senior, and he'll leave this institution as its all-time leading scorer among the Division I ranks.
Had a fine career, over 1,600 points in Division I play. Certainly didn't go out the way he wanted to here at home, but man still appreciated his career overall and his effort here today.
Well, last year, all he did against Cleveland State here was make 12 of 13 shots from the field and 6 for 6 from the free-throw line. Kenny Robertson draws nothing but nylon on that shot, and it's Kenny's first point of the afternoon, and it's a big one.
They're all big from here on out, Denny. 3:40 to play.
High Archer rolls around, can't get the roll. McFadden is whistled for a personal foul, and the Mouse will have to be particularly careful in the remaining 3:37 because that's his fourth.
Boy, no reason for Mouse to be back here trying to reach and pressure the basketball.
Fatigue, though, has a tendency to make your decisions defensively sometimes not what you'd like.
Oh, no question about it. This has been a war. Not been the fast pace the Vikings are used to, but certainly it's been a tough ball game. And when a team executes as well as the Phoenix do offensively, spreading you out, moving the basketball, back cutting, picking, that wears you out defensively. They use a lot of the clock, and it's tough to play defense. There are a lot of teams that play good defense for the first half of the shot clock in the college and pro game, but that last half of the shot clock really wears you down defensively.
Mouse off balance. Oh, it won't go. And inside, Eric Mudd caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And getting up slowly right now, Mike Connor, and he is in a lot of pain as he's trying to walk it off. He's either got a Charlie horse or maybe got kneed, kind of hobbling down the floor. Mike Connor, he's a tough customer there. Well, this one's now turned into a free throw shooting affair.
Again, neither one of the teams shoot that well from the free throw line. Both right around the 60% mark as a unit.
Wisconsin Green Bay at 65.1, the Vikings at 61.2. Caphorn hits his first, though. And the better than 5,200 on hand right now, sensing a home victory. Still plenty of basketball left. Anybody that's watched the Vikings play the last 5 years since Kevin Mackey arrived realizes that it's never over until the final horn is sounded. Stanley pump fakes for the three.
They're in that zone again. I look for the Vikings to try to get it to Stanley. Instead, they get it to Mudd inside, and he gets the roll.
Finally, Eric Mudd got himself a bit of a break. 56-53. 2:55 left in regulation. Robertson got a piece. Now he's going to run it down. Penny lost it. Dishes it off to the Mouse. And the Mouse is taken right to the floor, and words are already exchanged between Caphorn and McFadden. And there you see the officials. McFadden really not too happy about the way he was treated that trip.
Boy, I tell you what, this is borderline flagrant here. He just went right upside Mouse's head and yoked him to the floor. And Mouse, every reason to be mad about that one. They're going to shake hands now, but certainly in the heat of the moment, that looked to be a little unnecessary to me. Here, Robertson with this great second effort hustle, loses it on his way in for an open layup. Excellent presence of mind there. And then the foul. And Mouse up in a hurry. And Ed Maris just came in and separated the two before we had a Tyson Tyson.
Spinks?
No, not yet. That's yet to come. Well, maybe that would be appropriate. That didn't happen. The Tyson Spinks hasn't happened yet, so.
Oh, my. Well, the Mouse is going to towel off and try and cool off a little bit. We'll take a break here with 2:37 left. It's a three-point basketball game, and you're watching it on 19. And the shooter's roll, finally, providing Mouse with point number 16. So cut the lead to 1. No good. 56-54. Stolen by Stanley. And taken away back the other way. Oh, boy. Tappa out to the top of the key. Richard Sims is already fouled out, so the offensive ace on the bench for Wisconsin Green Bay. Kenny Robertson providing the heavy defense, slaps it out of bounds. 23 left on the shot clock.
Plenty of time left here, Denny. Good defensive pressure, no fouls. Make them take a tough shot, then board it and get down the other end and get a good opportunity. No reason to get over-aggressive or impatient defensively. Just good, solid man-to-man defense.
Don't send anybody to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to say in those two sentences.
That's all right. A point well taken. 6 left. Nardi in trouble. Throws it up. That one won't go. Nice defense and a good rebound by Stanley. Now it's up to the Vikings to get a good shot off.
Well, I tell you what, if they're in the zone, they aren't. They're in the man-to-man. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Stanley get one up from the three-point arc.
Mouse with a shot, no go, but the whistle and the foul on Taphorn. And say what you will about number 10, one-on-one, he's as good as anybody at drawing the contact.
He really is. He's got a special knack for doing that. Here we go, right-hand dribble, heading down towards the baseline. Goes right up into the defender. And Mouse himself created that foul by being willing to initiate the contact.
McFadden shooting 76.3% on the season from the free throw line, ranked number 8 in the AMQ8 in that department.
Well, he doesn't swish them in, does he? He rolls them right around. They certainly
Ever the dramatic one.
This
one will be clean. This will be clean.
Boy, spoken like a true P-by-P guy.
I'm telling you, I've watched him too many times with a timeout on the floor now. 1:29 left in this one, and we're all tied at 56-56. And what do you think might be going on in Mackey's huddle there?
No question, the same type of defensive effort they had on the prior possession. Good, solid, man-to-man defense. Don't send anybody to the line. Force a tough shot, then board it. Take your time at the offensive end. Certainly the Mouse is the creator. He's the point guard. He can initiate things and let him do his magic.
And if you think this one is good, what about Monday night if the Vikings slip out of here with a victory? That one will more than likely be for the trip to the NCAA. All of us, of course, with our fingers crossed. And you can watch it only on 19, the television home of CSU basketball. It all starts at 8:30. The opening tip-off at 8:35. And it's payback time in Waterloo and Cedar Rapids, because last year the Vikings took one on the chin there that never should have happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, that place, what's it called, the Dome, the Unidome?
Yep, the Unidome. It's a unique place. You know, Colonel Sanders here this afternoon as well, so they've had a nice turnout here.
Excellent turnout. The Vikings have evened things up and certainly haven't played as well as they're capable of in a very good position right now. Need a good defensive stop here, and then they'll get the last shot opportunity most likely.
Long throw and the steal by Mudd. Well, Dick Bennett had set up a play and it backfired. Eric Mudd scrambling to get the basketball, and now the Vikings can take the lead and put the pressure back on the Phoenix. Better believe they'll try and get it inside. Tough shot by Stanley. He banks it home. Stanley with a dozen and a quick timeout called. Oh, my goodness. Stanley, who has really been emerging over the last couple of weeks since he got 29 against Valparaiso, takes the tough shot in the pressure situation.
Yeah, this is crunch time into the lane, just about into the lane, leaning to the jumper, uses the window. Boy, that's a tough shot considering the circumstances. Crunch time, Stanley takes it upon himself, but that's confidence, Denny, and you can see it developing in William Stanley over the last few ball games, like you said.
Vikings lead by 2 now with 1:09 left, but don't forget more exciting basketball action on WOIO 19. The Buckeyes at home against the boys from East Lansing, and the Buckeyes at this point may be teetering and tottering as far as the NCAA is concerned, and they can ill afford to lose another one.
No, they can't lose any. They've been a very good home basketball team. They've beaten Iowa there. They've beaten Michigan there. Certainly with the material Coach Williams has, he doesn't really have any true studs or blue-chip players. Jay Burson, their leading scorer. And the Buckeyes doing a respectable job considering the conference they play in and the personnel they have right now.
Well, a couple of years from now, I'm sure that they'll be exactly where everybody wants them, contending for a national title. But you're right, it's a make-peace team right now, trying to throw everything together, and Gary Williams getting just about everything he possibly can out of his team.
That's what you got to measure a coach by. Is he getting the most out of the material he has? And Coach Williams certainly doing that, and I'm sure the Buckeye program is on the rise in the next few years.
Well, it's time to check your emotions at the door. This one really going to go into a final tizzy. A 2-point lead, no fouls, hopefully. Good pressure. Already across the stripe. Vanderplas with it now.
No fouls, and don't let somebody get a wide-open three-point opportunity.
Vikings will get at least one more offensive possession. 3-point try for Carissi.
Well, I spoke too soon, but he's the guy that's hurt him from that same spot all day long. The Vikings going to call a timeout and try to regroup and get ready for the last possession.
Well, the decibel level right now has gone right through the roof. We've got a timeout on the floor. With 37 ticks left on the clock, we'll keep it right here and try and set it up. Look at Carismi on the wing.
The thing that's interesting about this, there's nobody within 6 feet of him, Denny, and this guy's made a couple of these three-pointers already today. You'd have to be thinking that we've got to make sure he doesn't shoot the shot to beat us. And the Vikings lose track of him, and there he is, wide open, and knocks down a big pressure three-pointer. And that not only gives them the lead, but it deflates the Vikings just a little bit. Certainly they got a chance for the last shot, but a guy comes down and hits the three-pointer to give them a lead, and that puts the pressure and the heat right back on the Vikings' shoulders.
Kevin Mackey working in that huddle, trying to convince the Vikings of running down the clock, maybe getting the ball inside to Eric Mudd, or letting the Mouse go one-on-one to get to the free throw line. Lots of possibilities left in this one. Carismi with 16 has 3 three-pointers. He won't shoot a bigger one ever, probably in his career.
Certainly that's a big one. But the Vikings with plenty of time left to get a good shot themselves and maybe squeeze one out of here, but they're going to have to execute. Mouse is going to have to use good judgment in terms of whether he's the guy that can get the shot, or maybe Eric Mudd. William Stanley certainly has to be a viable option, as he hit a big basket just a moment ago to give him a 1-point lead.
They're on their feet here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Shot clock is off. What you see there is what's left in this one. McFadden has it stolen away and then fouls back the other way. Oh, my goodness.
That's probably that is McFadden's fifth. He's history.
McFadden with some words of wisdom for Herb Dixon, who checks in.
McFadden just lackadaisical with the basketball there. Put it right out in front of Mike Connor. Clean steal, and then McFadden foul, sending Connor to the line.
One more, and the Vikings will have to come up with a three-pointer. man-to-man. And a timeout called by Cleveland State. Wisconsin Green Bay, a team that, should they win today and win against Southwest, might be ticketed for the NIT. And certainly at this point, they've held on to their third-place position in the AMQ8. If they win today, it'll be a big-time victory for them at home.
Oh, it certainly would be. They played very well here this afternoon. They've shot it pretty well, executed well in their half-court offense, have not allowed the Cleveland State Vikings really to take advantage of the big difference in size. The Vikings have not done that on a regular basis.
Well, you might see Frenchie Tomlin checking into the Cleveland State lineup, one of the better three-point shooters. Maybe, maybe not. Stanley's been shooting it pretty well from long range, but that's what the Vikings need now. At 61-58, they trail by 3 with 24 seconds left as Dick Bennett, with final instructions for his team, sends the Phoenix back out on the floor.
I think it's got to be a good three-pointer, Denny. It can't be a forced one. I think the Vikings would probably get the better three-pointer if somebody penetrated, drew the defense, and maybe kicked it back out to a Tomlin or a Stanley and try to get a good three-pointer. It's important that they get a good three-point opportunity, not just any rush thrown-up three-pointer.
Dixon now on the wing. Stanley fall away. Long shot off the back of the iron. Nardi with a rebound, and he is fouled from behind, and that could be all she wrote.
I tell you what, they couldn't have gotten a better one. Stanley shot it like he meant it, right on line, just a little strong. Hey, you got to have your hat off to William Stanley. Takes a big shot. Didn't get it to go, and we'll see what happens at the free throw line. Excellent execution, though. Coach Mackey can't be disappointed with that effort at all.
No question. They set up the three-point try beautifully.
Excellent here as we look at Stanley. Right on line, catches the back iron, and Nardi comes up with the board.
Well, they're all standing on their feet here at the Brown County Veterans Memorial Arena. Nardi could put this one on ice. No good. Vikings have an outside chance. Long three-point try. Dixon at the buzzer. Dixon at the buzzer. And we're headed to overtime.
Oh, boy. It's never over till it's over, Denny. Dixon, of all people, certainly not one of the guys you would think to take a three-pointer, but this kid's got such a great attitude. I talk to him all the time. He's a gamer, Denny, and knocks down the three-pointer, and they're in stunned silence here in Wisconsin.
And we'll take a break. Stick around. We've got overtime. Dixon with the three, and you watched it all on 19. To do on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Off the three-point try at the buzzer, the Vikings now at OT against the Phoenix, and Herb Dixon making the first one pay off. It's his first three-point try of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Connor, wing jumper, left side, and he hits it. So, the Phoenix, the first to hit the board in the overtime.
A new ball game now. Start from scratch. Could be just as well zip or 63-61 right now.
There's a steal. Now Connor falls from behind. Tripped himself. Fans aren't happy with the play. But Cleveland State gets it back. Dixon, nice pass inside. Whistle and a foul as Mudd was hacked on the wrist. And Eric Mudd will head to the free throw line. Keep in mind now, both stars in this one are done for the afternoon. Sims and McFadden have both fouled out.
Well, that means somebody else is going to have to step up and take the bull by the horns. It was Herb Dixon knocking down that big three-pointer to keep us on the air for another few minutes, Denny. And it's going to be up to the rest of the Vikings, Mudd, Dixon, and William Stanley, and the other Vikings to fill the void of Ken McFadden.
Ball is loose. Now a whistle and a foul down low, and Warren Bradley gets whistled. Well, I'm sure that station manager Dennis Thatcher won't mind paying that satellite fee for a couple of extra minutes should the Vikings come away with the victory. Probably their biggest fan in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's right up there if he's not at the top of the fan list. He's certainly in the upper echelon.
I just hope he hasn't thrown anything through his television set back home and he saw the overtime basket.
Oh, I'm sure he did. He's a diehard Vikings fan. I don't think he would have turned it off on him early.
Oh, no, this bunch here, you can never count them out. I don't care what the score is or where they're playing. But now they've got themselves in a real bind. They trail by a basket in overtime, 63-61. And at the free throw line goes Frank Nardi with 14 on the afternoon.
And William Stanley is through for the afternoon as he picks up his 5th foul.
Well, you have to give the Vikings every credit in the world to extend this one. Now they're going to have to figure out how to win it.
Exactly. Stanley sits down with 12 points in a solid effort.
Vikings running out of scores and heroes. Dixon feeds it off. Eric Mudd, shot no good. Eric pushes off and he bangs it home. Whistle and a foul, and it could be a three-point play. And I can't say as I played the argument, on the replay you'll watch Eric with a shove.
Oh, boy, did he ever. Those officials aren't perfect, though. They missed nice penetration dish by Dixon that time. Mudd, short arm, he alligator armed the first one. But then he actually held down whoever that was next to him.
He just reached out and touched Brian Klimke.
Yeah, I think that's who it was, Klimke. He just touched him gingerly enough to keep him planted in his track.
Stiff-armed him.
Yeah, and Mudd has a chance for a three-point play here.
Still no go from the free throw line. 65-63. Good pressure.
Back money.
Controls. Connor will challenge it. He hits the basket, and he may have the three-point play.
Boy, this is a good one-on-one move that time by Connor. Here he has Mudd backpedaling. Hershey Strong doesn't move his feet, reaches in. And Connor's strong enough to get it up on the glass and put it in the hole. Here we look at it again. Coming right at you, folks. Just a good individual move that time by Mike Connor.
Connor now with 15 on the afternoon, and that one doesn't quite get there. 3:45 left in overtime. Dixon playing the point because McFadden is fouled out. Robertson for three. Oh, right off the back of the iron. Boy, that looked good when it took off.
Boy, it really did. Just a little strong. Kenny Robertson, though, I don't know if you want him looking to shoot that three-pointer. Like, oh, great play.
Robertson with a steal. It's a race to the basket, and Kenny plays it in.
Well, he redeemed himself for launching that three-pointer that didn't go. Comes up with a great steal and a hoop. Two-point game again.
Robertson tries to steal it, slaps it away, and appreciates the call. Kenny Robertson playing like a man possessed.
Oh, he's really all over the place. That time forces a turnover. The Vikings have a chance to tie it up underneath their own hoop.
Boy, this was really turned into a dandy. Oh, no, the lob pass. Nobody home there. Robertson created the turnover and then gave it right back. Oh, my. Tampa for three. You can count that one.
Boy, again, just no defensive pressure on the three-point shooters, didn't he?
Hershey Strong shut off. Hershey takes another route, fall away jumper, and he hits it.
Tough shot in traffic.
Both teams pulling out all the stops here. For the Vikings, a trip to the tournament on the line. Tampa again, and this time he hits it off the right wing.
Boy, they just aren't missing any, but I think a lot of it has to do with them getting good open shots to their shooters.
Dixon penetrates. Blocking is called on Vanderplas, who hit the deck, or make that Tampa, rather. Tampa stepped in. Dixon will head to the line, and Dixon right now grabbing the end of those shorts because he's a tired point guard.
There he goes into the lane. Boy, I tell you what, as we look at the replay, tough call, gutty call by the official that time. Dixon's going to get an opportunity for free throws here.
Herb Dixon providing the three-pointer that sent it into overtime will get a chance to to shoot the 1-1 and try and cut the lead back to 3 with 2:14 left in this one. If this one hasn't been good enough, don't forget Clark and I will be right back on WOIO 19 Monday evening beginning at 8:30 against Northern Iowa. 8:35 the opening tip-off, live and direct from the Unidome. And it'll be a chance for you to reunite with your old college coach, Eldon Miller.
Jake Miller, that's right. Not doing a bad job at Northern Iowa. Certainly they've struggled a little more than people thought they would this season, but it takes a little time to develop a program, to get used to a new coaching philosophy, a new style of play. And certainly I think Northern Iowa will be a team to be heard from in the future in the MQA.
2:14 left in this one. Well, whoever loses, it won't be for lack of effort here this afternoon.
Boy, both teams, like you said, Denny, have pulled out all the stops. They've given it everything they've had, and it's been exciting.
Fans have really enjoyed this one here this afternoon. Sellout crowd. For the audience back in Cleveland, appreciating the efforts of both of these two teams. And, you know, I think it's also a reflection on the AMQ8 itself. Here's the third-place team playing against the team that's tied for first, giving them everything they can have.
Well, the top half of this AMQ8 is certainly a tough 4 team.
Nardi high for the board on the missed free throw. Bradley gets whistled, and things are looking dim here in Green Bay.
Missed free throw, rebound by Nardi. Warren Bradley certainly reached in there. Called for the foul.
Well, anytime that ball comes back high off the rim like that, it's tough.
Yeah, you got to seal those guys off, though, and that time the Phoenix had inside rebounding position and came up with the loose rebound.
Nardi could extend it to a 7-point advantage. Vikings are going to have to hurry. Hershey with a jump step jumper that won't go. Rebound into Mudd, lays it in. That could have been a 3-point try. Mudd with 13. Helter-skelter out there right now. Vikings doing all the chasing, and the Phoenix trying to hang on to the basketball. Left on the shot clock, 1:25 left in the game. Well, of all the people you wouldn't expect to score, Klimke wouldn't be the guy to shoot the 15-footer, but he hit it. Inside, Mudd off the glass, another key basket.
Vikings still within striking distance. They're going to have to come up with a turnover or maybe a foul.
Pass ahead. Klimke could have gone to Connor, but decided to hang on to it.
Vikings running out of time here, Denny. I think they've got to get somebody to the foul line. They've got to foul somebody.
Well, you don't want to foul Karisny. Well, that's what Kenny Robertson does, and Kenny heads to the bench with his 5th and final foul. Tremendous effort this afternoon by number 21, and he'll sit down a little bit disturbed that he didn't leave this one with a winning score.
Trying to come in from behind. Call for the reach-in foul, but certainly Robertson leaves it all out there. Anytime he steps between those lines, he's going to give you everything he's got. And that's all you can ask from any player.
Kenny Robertson checks out with 3 points, but a bunch of steals and all sorts of hustling defense. Karisny, who has been the player of the game, I think, for Wisconsin Green Bay, has 17 points.
He's got my vote. He's come up with a couple of big baskets, a few 3-point shots. He's made a difference.
Frenchie Tomlin, long-range 3, and he nails it and got knocked to the floor. Tomlin with a tremendous 3-point play, and Kevin Mackey calls for timeout. So with 30 seconds left, don't you dare go away. because the Vikings still have an outside chance.
Strategy here has to be quick foul. If you don't get a turnover right away, you've got to send somebody to the foul line, find out who out on the floor, if you can, is the worst free throw shooter, get that person to get that individual to the line, hope for the miss, and then come back down, try to get a good three-pointer or even a good two-pointer, and then use the same strategy. But it's got to be quick. It's got to happen fast.
How about Frenchie Tomlin, fresh off the bench? And believe me, that wasn't from 19 feet 9 inches.
No.
That baby was from about 23 feet.
Yeah, that probably was an NBA three, and he hit the deck. I was hoping maybe he was fouled and possible four-point play. Not to be. But thirdly, the Vikings still have a chance. They can foul somebody quickly. They get a couple of breaks on missed free throws and come up with a couple of quick hooks themselves. You never know what can happen. 30 seconds, a lot of time.
They say the championship teams never, ever, ever lose easy. And right now, the Cleveland State Vikings have clawed their way not only into overtime, but as they were down by 7, are now just behind by 4. It's 78-74.
Looking at the players out on the floor for the Phoenix right now. The Vikings 1 of 3 from the stripe in free throws in this overtime period. The Phoenix has made 1 of 1.
On the chase, Hersey Strong fouls Frank Nardi, and Nardi will head to the line with 27 seconds left. Dick Bennett has certainly had his work cut out this afternoon. Boy, you look at Dick Bennett and Kevin Mackey, and you're not going to get a better matchup coaching-wise anywhere in the country.
Both guys do an outstanding job with their respective programs.
Nardi with 19, and you have to hope he misses one here sooner or later. Could put the Phoenix ahead by 6. Deals it off inside, and a charging is called, and it is. That one could seal the fate of the Cleveland State Vikings.
Herb going all the way to the basket with the idea of dumping it off. Makes a nice pass, but after he lets go of the basketball, after he made the pass, player control. Left his feet, went right into the defender.
Have to give credit to Wisconsin Green Bay because in the overtime, they've done a good job defensively, and they've also shot it in from the free throw line.
Shot it in from the line, they shot it in from the perimeter. I don't know if they missed a shot in the overtime period. Maybe one, but...
Hersey for 3. That won't go. Another whistle, another foul. And with 15 seconds left, there you see the look on the face of Big 00. And as the shoulders start to slump a little bit and the fans stand on their feet, a trip to the NCAA tournament for Cleveland State appears to be vanishing.
Slowly slipping away. Got a tough game in Northern Iowa coming up Monday. Certainly they'll need some help from some other people in the conference, namely these same Wisconsin Green Bay Phoenix, to maybe knock off Southwest Missouri State. But I think they're tuned into this one, aren't they, Jimmy? The people back in Southwest Missouri.
I'm sure quite a few of them are. And they're also very well aware of the fact that the Phoenix also nearly beat them last year in the tournament down there. So Wisconsin Green Bay, an outstanding defensive team, are good enough to beat anybody in the conference on a given night. Dixon tries in desperation, but at this point in time, Bradley fouls with 5 seconds left. It's all academics because the Phoenix leads by 10, and they are going to head away with victory number 18 on the season, while Kevin Mackey continues to applaud his troops. His group will fall to 20-7.
Dick Bennett very jubilant and happy about this win. He knows what it means to his program, to his chances for an NIT bid for sure. So certainly this is a huge win for him and his ball club. Oh, you got to give them credit. They could have really had their heads down after blowing that lead in the last couple of minutes of the regulation time. But they didn't. They were able to come out in the overtime, get an early lead, and build on it, and come out of here with the W.
Nardi with a game-high 21. Will not forget this one soon. Make it 22. And Nardi will get a chance to leave the floor for the final time as a senior and get a standing ovation from the better than 5,200 on hand here this afternoon. Vikings put it in play. Dixon will pull up, try for three. He hit one at the end of regulation that sent this one into overtime, but Herb Dixon couldn't come up with the magic in the OT to make a difference as they flood the floor here at the arena in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Phoenix of Green Bay, Wisconsin have defeated the Vikings of Cleveland State. The final 86-74, as there you see the jubilation at midfloor. Well, Clark and I will be back to wrap this one up. There you see it, a 12-point victory, and you watched it on 19.